expansion was discussed both at a committee level and at the board, and ultimately the league office was tasked by our board with doing an in-depth analysis of all the issues around expansion.
Picture this: a basketball court packed to the rafters and a foul call that should have been forgotten by halftime. Instead, it turned into the biggest scandal the league has seen in years. Not because of what happened on the floor, but because of what got picked up by a microphone nobody remembered to switch off. Most of the time, when a basketball game blows up into chaos, the cameras catch the easy stuff. The shoving, the whistles, the refs throwing up their arms for a technical, coaches storming the sideline like their shoes are on fire. That's the show everybody expects. But every once in a while, the real drama isn't what you see. It's what you hear, especially when a live mic stays hot long after it was supposed to go dark. That's exactly what happened after one especially rough matchup turned from a basketball story into a full-blown corporate headache. What started as a normal, hard foul between two competitors on the floor suddenly became a crisis at the top of the league's front office. All because a piece of leaked courtside audio hit the internet. And this wasn't some polished, edited soundbite. It was raw, unfiltered, a real, heated back and forth between head coach Stephanie White, star defender Dejanai Carrington, and the officiating crew stuck right in the middle of it. In one messy clip, months of quiet frustration inside the league came pouring out for everyone to hear. Within hours, that clip was everywhere. League executives were blindsided, and word quickly spread that the man at the very top, Commissioner Adam Silver, was livid, pulling people into emergency meetings to figure out how to control the damage before it hurt the league's image and its biggest sponsors. But to really understand why this one audio clip caused such a massive reaction in the boardroom, you need to go back to how the game actually played out before anything leaked. The arena was loud before the ball was even tipped. Every possession that night carried playoff-level intensity, even though it was just a regular season game. Both teams were playing like their season depended on it, pushing physically right up to the edge of what the refs would allow. It was one of those nights where you could feel something was about to boil over. Then, late in the game, it happened. A simple transition play toward the basket turned violent in an instant. Carrington, known across the league for playing tough, physical defense, went up to contest a hard drive to the rim. Her arms came down through the play with real force, and the offensive player hit the floor hard along the baseline. The whistle blew immediately, but you could barely hear it over the crowd exploding and both benches jumping up at once. Players rushed toward the paint. Coaches pushed past the sideline. Officials tried desperately to keep bodies apart before things got worse. To everyone watching at home on the main broadcast, it looked like a normal moment. A hard foul, a replay review, then a quick cut to commercial. Business as usual. But behind the scenes, something else was happening. A secondary microphone, positioned near the scorer's table and team benches to pick up ambient sound, was never supposed to be part of the public feed. Because of a technical mistake, that channel stayed live and unmuted for 90 brutal seconds. And what came through those 90 seconds left sports fans, radio hosts, and online creators completely stunned. Instead of the usual sideline chatter, that mic caught something much more personal. Stephanie White, standing just off the court, was furious about the contact on the play. She accused the opposing team of playing dangerously, her voice cutting sharp through all the background noise, demanding that officials get control of the game before it spiraled into something worse. Carrington wasn't about to back down either. She fired right back, defending how she plays, making it clear she wasn't going to be talked down to by a coach from the other bench. This wasn't just two competitors letting off steam. It got personal, crossing that invisible line between normal trash talk and outright accusations of dirty, reckless play. The officials were stuck right in the crossfire, trying to keep order while catching heat from both sides. Phrases came through the recording that were never meant for public ears, sharp, blunt, and nowhere near the polished language leagues usually work so hard to protect. The moment someone online found that secondary audio, clipped it, and posted it, that's when things really exploded. Within minutes of the final buzzer, that short clip had already pulled in millions of views. Sports channels, analysts, and everyday fans jumped on it instantly, breaking down every word, every tone, every pause. Suddenly, nobody was talking about the final score. The audio had completely taken over the conversation. League officials tried to slow it down, sending out takedown requests to get the clip pulled from major platforms. But like anything online, trying to erase it only made people more curious. Every deleted copy led to 5 new reposts. The story kept growing, eventually jumping from social media straight into mainstream sports coverage. Analysts argued over whether Carrington was being unfairly singled out for playing physical defense, or whether White was simply standing up for player safety. And then things got even messier. Rumors started spreading that this wasn't a technical accident at all, but something leaked on purpose by someone inside the organization, frustrated with how officiating had been handled. That theory alone turned a basketball argument into a much bigger story about broadcast security and who really controls what gets heard. Back at league headquarters, the mood was reportedly tense, to put it lightly. Adam Silver, who oversees everything from officiating to broadcast partnerships, was said to be furious, both about the security failure and about the damage already done to the league's image. Leagues spend enormous amounts of money crafting a clean, family-friendly product for television. Having raw, hostile arguments broadcast without any filter was, from a business standpoint, close to a nightmare scenario. Reports say Silver quickly called in network executives and technical staff, demanding answers on exactly how a secondary floor microphone bypassed the usual broadcast delay systems. And for the league, the real issue went beyond just bad language. It touched something much bigger: the credibility of officiating, the trust of sponsors, and the risk of losing major advertisers who pay top dollar to keep their brand far away from controversy. Behind closed doors, talk quickly turned to fines, formal warnings, and possible suspensions for anyone involved. Meanwhile, while the league was scrambling to protect its image, the two people at the center of it all had to face the media. Reporters packed into the post-game press room, eager for answers about what really happened on the sideline. And both sides handled it the same careful way, trying to smooth things over without saying too much. When asked directly about the confrontation, Stephanie White downplayed it, saying that basketball is an emotional game and her only concern is protecting her players. She never once mentioned the leaked audio by name. Carrington gave a similar answer, calm and composed, saying that competitors are always going to clash when the stakes are high. She denied playing dirty, insisting she simply plays with everything she's got, and she wasn't going to apologize for that. But here's the thing, nobody in that press room really believed the calm act. You could see the gap between what they were saying to the cameras and what everyone had already heard on the leaked recording. The press conference felt scripted, almost rehearsed, and it only made people more curious about what was really going on behind the scenes. And honestly, this whole situation didn't come out of nowhere. For months before this, players, coaches, and team staff had been quietly complaining about how inconsistent officiating had become. As players get faster and stronger every season, referees are under more pressure than ever to manage physical contact without slowing the game down. Some coaches feel like rough play is getting ignored just to keep the game moving. Others argue the opposite, that too many whistles are killing the physical, competitive nature of the sport. This leaked audio hit a nerve because it confirmed something fans had already suspected. These frustrations weren't just talk. They were real, and they were boiling just below the surface. In the days after the leak, sports talk shows and podcasts couldn't stop dissecting the recording. Former players jumped into the debate, many defending Carrington, saying physical defense like hers has always been part of the game, and that people today are simply too sensitive about hard-nosed play. Others sided with White, arguing that no matter how tough the sport is, player safety always has to come first, especially with the game getting faster and more physical every year. Fans split right down the middle too. One side loved the raw honesty of the clip, saying real emotion makes sports far more interesting than polished, overmanaged sound bites. The other side argued that picking up private conversations through hidden microphones isn't fair to the players or coaches, who shouldn't be judged publicly for things said in the heat of the moment. But no matter which side people landed on, everyone agreed on one thing. This incident was going to change how leagues handle courtside audio from now on. Behind the scenes, broadcast teams immediately began reviewing every microphone setup around the court, checking how audio feeds get routed, and tightening up systems to make sure something like this could never slip through again. The league sent formal warnings to every team, reminding coaches and players about conduct near the benches, and made it clear that future outbursts caught on tape would come with real consequences: fines, suspensions, no exceptions. But even with all these new precautions, one thing had already changed for good. Fans now expect this kind of raw, behind-the-scenes access. This whole event proved just how hard it is for any organization to keep things hidden anymore. With cameras and microphones everywhere, the court isn't a private space during a game. It's basically an open mic, capturing every reaction the moment it happens and sending it out to millions of people within seconds. As the season rolled on, this controversy kept following both Carrington and White wherever they played. Every hard foul, every heated exchange, every sideline reaction now gets studied under a microscope by fans and broadcasters alike. Carrington hasn't changed how she plays. She's still just as aggressive and physical as ever, refusing to tone it down despite all the attention. White, meanwhile, has stayed focused on her team, trying to move past the distraction and get back to basketball. But here's the bigger picture. This whole situation changed something deeper about how fans experience live sports. It proved that the most unforgettable moments don't always happen on the scoreboard. Sometimes they happen in those unscripted seconds when a microphone stays on just a little too long. And that raises a much bigger question for sports going forward. Where does privacy end, and where does entertainment begin? Leagues keep pushing for more access: player mics, cameras inside huddles, behind-the-scenes footage from locker rooms. And with all that extra access comes a much higher chance of capturing exactly this kind of raw, unfiltered moment. Leagues want that intensity and emotion. It's what keeps fans watching. But they want it delivered on their terms, packaged and controlled. When real emotion breaks through that control, you get a viral moment fans love and executives dread in equal measure. No matter how many new rules get written, how many broadcast delays get added, or how many fines get handed out, one thing can't be controlled: human competitiveness. As long as athletes are fighting for wins and coaches are fighting for every advantage, moments like this will keep happening. The only difference now is that everyone's listening, waiting for the next mic to stay on just a little too long. And that's exactly why this story matters so much going forward. Because the line between what happens on the court and what the world gets to hear keeps getting thinner every single season. So here's the real question for you. Do you think leagues should crack down harder on these leaks? Or is this raw, unfiltered side of sports exactly what makes the game worth watching? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if you want more breakdowns like this one, and subscribe so you never miss the next big story before it blows up.